Hi, friends, and welcome to my brand new podcast, SOS for Your Life, Emergency Wisdom for Everyday Life. Today is a solo episode, My Story, My Why. I'm your host, Susie St. Angelo. Thank you for supporting me in this venture. Before we dive in today's episode, I'll share a little bit about myself. I'm 58 years old. I'm a health life coach working with women who are in transition due to burnout of career, health, and/or a relationship. And I'm a breathwork facilitator. Prior to coaching, for over 30 years, I worked in corporate America. I'm many things. I'm a sister, an aunt, a great aunt, and a grandmother. And now I'm ready to begin my journey as a podcaster. What I am not is a physician. I'm excited to use this platform as an outlet to share my wisdom, to hear and talk to others, and to embrace change and grow into the very best versions of ourselves. This podcast is for you if you know you want to change something, whether it's a career, your health, or something else at this age and stage of your life, and you don't know what to do or how to do it. Or you may be the person who's afraid to take that next first step, caught in analysis paralysis. I see and understand you. I used to feel the same way. Why did I name this podcast SOS for Your Life? Well, SOS is my initials, and help is available if you go looking for it. Help can be found in the most unexpected places. SOS is a call for help, which goes back to Morse code days. Think of a beach and shipwrecked people who use SOS to get an airplane's attention. Some of us ask for help. Some of us go searching for help on our own. And others are afraid to ask for help and ultimately stay safe. It's often hard to know where to go when you want to change or are forced through circumstances to make those changes. I will speak to you in future episodes about how our finances, home environment, cooking, spirituality, relationships, education, career, creativity, joy, and a number of other aspects of our life affect our health and wellness. By taking baby steps in any of these areas of life, you can begin to embrace change and growth and move the needle to a happier and healthier you. Let me be clear, health is more than diet and exercise. All of us have experienced something that changed the trajectory of our lives. Small steps lead to big changes, and I should know that's how I did it. Sometimes we know what we need to do, but taking the first steps is often the hardest. Starting a podcast is one of them. Often the journey is not a straight line, and I can look back and see where I made small or big shifts that changed where I lived, what I did, and who I became. So let me tell you about my journey and how I got here. I began working in corporate America after graduating from DePaul University and getting married right out of college. I focused on my career and was identified as quote-unquote management material. Throughout my career, I moved up the ladder with promotions, job title changes, and incentives. I became an assistant vice president and later a vice president. Part of being a leader is setting an example, helping others develop their skills and talents, and being a servant leader in the community. For me, that was sitting on boards and committees, including chairing events, all while doing my day job. Being a people pleaser came easily for me. Early on, I didn't have a lot of role models in this space, so I just kept doing it. It wasn't until I was in my late 40s that I noticed I had signs of burnout and wanted to do something else. Little did I know that I was burning out of my health and my marriage too. Later, I called it my trifecta. Maybe you can relate to one, two, or all three of those. I didn't see all three coming. I started working with a life coach who helped me craft a plan, stay or leave my career a year before I eventually left. How do you know if you have burnout? Dragging your feet going to work, a bad attitude, not looking forward to work or work-related events, and watching the clock until it was quitting time are all some of the signs you might have. Outgrowing a place, not being that person in the job, not fitting into the culture, and not being heard were some of the signs that it was time to go. As I said earlier, with the help of a life coach, we created a plan to resign the following year. I left a few days prior to my 50th birthday. I knew I was meant to be home and see what I saw. I'd been going a mile a minute, and I really think being busy was a way to avoid what needed to be seen, acknowledged, and dealt with. Eventually, I left my marriage. Before that, I noticed I was asleep when I should be awake and awake when I should be asleep. I had gut issues. And it wasn't until I saw a massage therapist and commented on how great she looked. She just glowed. I asked who she was seeing and decided to make an appointment. It turns out it was one of my former clients who became my new medical professional, an angel. She was the help I needed in so many ways. Changing to her functional medicine practice led to several diagnoses that, had I not changed doctors, I doubt I would have found them. I literally cried in my car on the drive home from the doctor to meet a friend for lunch. Finally, someone had figured out what was going on with me. This journey took a while to course correct and find the right balance for me. Changing lifestyles is hard. When you're told that you have food sensitivities and need to change, that didn't happen right away. I didn't take it very seriously until I was fed up with not being healthy. Food sensitivities can show up as bloating, vomiting, diarrhea, inflammation, irritable bowel syndrome, and leaky gut. Those physical signs were signals that my body was out of whack. I love to cook, so this diagnosis forced me to change how and what I ate. Eventually, I had to learn a new way to feed and fuel myself. When I saw a picture of myself at a relative's wedding, that was it. I was determined to make permanent, healthier changes. Again, I needed help. I couldn't do it alone. I tried, and nothing I did was working, and I was at wit's end. So I talked to my new doctor, who suggested a health coach. They work with people on accountability, new lifestyle changes, and goals. My new health coach later said I became her best student. I was like a dog with a bone. Can you relate to this? If it's something you want so much that you become laser focused? One of the first things she asked me was how serious I was about my food sensitivities. I said I was willing to go 100%. Once I got honest with myself and stopped eating foods that didn't make me feel very good, the change was sudden. 5-pound weight loss 1 month, 10-pound weight loss another month, and so on and so on. She checked in on me daily, not daily, but actually weekly, and asked about my challenges and my successes, providing me with support and educational videos and leadership to understand the process I was going through. When I was down, she was up. She was my accountability coach, noticing what I ate, noticing my moods around eating, providing encouragement, and making modifications throughout the process. Also, we talked about self-sabotage and how to be kinder to myself. Do I have setbacks? Yes, I do. I am human. We can't be perfect 100% of the time. And my doctor and health coach were the ones to remind me and give me grace. It's also okay to be 85% good and to give yourself slack for that 15% to just have some fun. These are the things that I offer to my clients: accountability, support and encouragement, and grace. Then I started to include strength training and continued with simple exercises such as walking and my lifetime of yoga. For years, I did cardio and skipped meals and didn't see any progress, becoming more frustrated by the hour. What I didn't realize is that what I was doing at a younger age wasn't working as I aged. Cardio was keeping my body in an active state. I couldn't rest my nervous system, which wasn't allowing me to heal. My body needed calmer exercise, which walking and yoga provided. As you age, your body sends signals that you need to stop and change course. As I started to see changes in my physical body with an almost 40-pound weight loss, I noticed other positive changes. Yes, the number on the scale dropped, my energy increased, I was able to do longer walks and more challenging hikes. My sleep improved from 4 to 6 hours to 7 to 8.5 hours a night. My confidence and attitude improved, all from making small changes to my lifestyle. I'm nicer to myself and to others. And fast forward to today, the numbers don't lie, they're good. My doctor says I'm reverse aging. I have these epiphanies. I can lift heavier weights and do more reps than I could 5 years ago and 20 plus years ago. All the cardio I did in the past was great, but it doesn't work for me right now. I'm more aware of what I need and make the adjustments regularly. One of my values is a love of learning. This has led to a growth mindset. It allows me to continue to learn about myself, be curious, open, and adventuresome, which are exciting at my age. Little did I think I could do what I'm doing now had it not been for getting help and support along the way. Look, being healthy isn't easy. It takes hard work, planning, motivation, and daily healthy habits. I take my health seriously. Once I decided to become a health coach, going through the education was an eye-opener. I had to heal some of the internal things that were weighing me down. Once I did, I had a lightness that others could see. The way I talk to myself, the people in relationships that don't feel good any longer, and the limiting beliefs that I couldn't do something are all things that changed for me. Here's my SOS. Your new life will cost you your old life. I often ask others I'm coaching, what's the one thing you can do today to move the needle in a positive direction? Take that next right step. Educating and helping people make small changes right now is, well, that's what this podcast is all about. It's about getting help for your life and not feeling bad about it. What works for me may not work for you and vice versa, and that's okay. I'm going to share with you in the future podcasts some words of wisdom and ways to change your health. Again, more than just diet and exercise. So please stay tuned and stay along for the ride with me. Going forward, I'd like to answer your questions. And here's today's question. What was your why for getting healthy? That is a great question. My why was to be healthy and happy for myself and my family. Both of my parents died of cancer. Neither person took particularly good care of themselves. I wanted to stop that trend. I didn't need to continue the same habits and behaviors that my parents did. I wanted to be active and not dying a slow death. Again, feel free to send me any questions you might need help with, and your question may be featured on an upcoming podcast. I want to do a shout out to Rita Marley of Bloom Design Studios in Carmel, Indiana, for the podcast artwork. Well, friends, sadly, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for listening to SOS for Your Life, Emergency Wisdom for Everyday Life. Today's episode was a summary of my health journey through changing doctors, small lifestyle changes, and mindset shifts. While I had a number of big stuff happening, I could take small steps that felt easier and simpler for me. And so can you. A quick reminder on how you can support this podcast. Like and share it with others. Send me a review or any questions you might have. And if you'd like to be added to my email newsletter, send me your email address. I'm happy to include you. And my website is listed at the bottom of this podcast if you want to reach out for a consultation or a breathwork facilitating session. Until next time, it's been nice to be with you. Thanks so much. Take care.